Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be doing another tapped out video. We're going to be going through the top 10 worst, we're going to go for the worst ones this time, the top 10 worst non-playable characters. So, I've kind of talked about non-playable characters I hate in the past. I have talked about them, but this time we're going to be talking about them all together, like an all-time list. So yeah, so these are characters, of course. I'm just going to reiterate, I already did my top 10 best, but I just need to quickly go over the ones I'm including as characters without any tasks whatsoever, but they may, generate income in that event, or full-time, in a couple of different ways. So, number 10. So, number 10, I've gone with Candy Kevin. So, Candy Kevin, honestly, he's kind of cool, I guess. You tap him, he does a little dance, he does a little jig from the Christmas event. However, he's not like he's very significant in my sense. He was kind of thrown just randomly in there right at the start of the event. I do remember it was I think it was the first thing I ever actually purchased in that Christmas event. And he just does a little jig, and that's about it. The actual character itself, the actual thing where it's from, is from a really obscure little background thing from not background, but he's only there briefly in the episode. It's not like he's a major character or anything, and that's why I've kind of forced him at number 10. I kind of feel bad because it's not like I'm complaining all that much. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't want it to be added. I'm just saying, comparing it to the other things, other non-playable characters, I have to put it at number 10. Number 9. So number 9, I've gone with the Krusty Land mascots. So that is Itchy, Scratchy, and Poochie. The mascots that obviously walk around at Krusty Land. Now, originally I did like them. The only problem I have with them is they've just become useless, and I completely forgot about them because I don't visit Krusty Land anymore. I feel like Krusty Land was really annoying. Krusty Land annoys me because it just died after the event. It died. No one. I don't visit it anymore. The only time I visit is when I've got a daily task to do. Collect tickets. And I never visit anymore. They don't add anything to it. They need to add. I think they need to add something every update. They need to add something to Krusty Land, even if it's just a couple decorations. They need to add something just to keep it generating, I feel like. And the Krusty Land mascots. The reason that they're on my list is because, well, they're pointless. I don't look at them anymore. It's like they're not there anymore for me. So I mean, they're not high up and they're pretty low. They are low, but they don't go into Springfield, so we never see them in Springfield, so they're always in Krusty Land. I feel like maybe just in an update they should make it so the Krusty Land mascots pop in Springfield as well. I wouldn't mind that. I'd be quite happy with them, walking around Springfield as well, but I guess not. So number 8, I've gone with Evil Homer. So Evil Homer is obviously it's an evil version of Homer. It was from I think it was from one of Homer's stories when he was talking about, obviously, some fella in history, and of course and basically it's like a play. I think it was a play, wasn't it? And it was an evil version of him. But anyway, the reason it's on my list is, first of all, this would have been a perfect costume. It would have been perfect for a costume, but they've decided not to make it a costume. It's really weird, the sci-fi event. They didn't make the President Lisa a costume. They didn't make the Mooch Bar a costume. They made them their own characters, and they made the Evil Homer just a non-playable character, which I found really weird. Personally, what I would have preferred is either a costume or a character with a full set of tasks. But all they really added was just this little NPC, and you tap him and he does like a little swipe. I don't like it, to be honest with you. They could have done more with it. I don't know if I would have preferred it as a costume, because I like the idea of making it a non-playable, but it just feels like I've got another Homer walking around, which I don't really want, but whatever. Because at first I thought they were going to split the costumes into characters, and I was like, oh no, don't do that. So anyway, number 7, I've gone with the Pet Mutants, which were the ones from the Terwilliger update. So that includes, if I find them, that includes the Pet Mutant Plant and the Pet Mutant Seedling. So yeah, honestly, didn't like these at all. They just ugly, really. They're just really ugly, and you tap them and they just sort of do nothing. Again, they're from a really obscure little thing in an episode. They're not like they're big characters or anything, or they're major players or anything like that. They are just there, and they're just really ugly and disgusting. I've grouped them together because they're both equally disgusting. You know, so there's not really much to say. I mean, it was cool to get them, but the Twilliger update was really bad for characters because all they could really add was Bob's family. Anyway, number 6. Number 6 is the Formless Terror. So this is like this sort of goo monster, which we got from the Halloween event. This Halloween event was by far one of the worst events ever. Definitely the worst Halloween event. Last year's one, wasn't it? I think it was last year's one. Formless Terror. It's like this goo thing. You tap and it goes it spreads and it forms back. They were added in the takedown. Awful, ugly looking thing. I don't like it whatsoever. You know, I can't say anything nice about it really. So number 5, I've gone with the Funzos. So honestly, the Funzos, one of the reasons I hate them so much is because they are, what's the word? They're so expensive. That's the problem. There's 3 of them. They're basically the same. They look the same. They're just a different color. You know, there's no variation between them, and they cost a good 60 donuts. Yeah, they cost 50 donuts. One cost 50 donuts. One cost 70 donuts, and one cost 60 donuts. I don't understand why they were. You know, they're so apart in terms of pricing. I don't know why, because they don't do anything different. They're the same thing. You just tap them and they make a little sound, or they fire a rocket out of their mouth. It's not like they're any different. You know, they could have added all 3 for 60 donuts. That would have been better. Adding all 3 of them for 60 donuts, the price was ridiculous. And when it was the Christmas update in 2012, it was probably the worst thing there. It was so expensive just to buy one, and it was kind of annoying because they were like, you know, you wanted Santa's Little Helper. Everyone wanted Santa's Little Helper. That was the one thing I wanted. But I ended up buying one of the Funzos in the Christmas event, and I missed out on Santa's Little Helper. I had to buy them after with donuts. But because honestly, they were the next best thing, and you know, I just don't like how they were so expensive. You know, and they were so apart in pricing and stuff. One of them was premium anyway. One of them was just permanently 50 donuts in the stores, whatever. But I don't like the Funzos, is what I'm trying to get out of this. So no, number 4 I've gone with Snowball 2. So the reason I've gone with Snowball 2 is because, well, Snowball 2 needed tasks, and Snowball 2 should have had tasks. Snowball 2 shouldn't even be on either lists, worst or best, non-playable characters, because she shouldn't be a non-playable character. She should be a playable character. She should have a full set of tasks, and that's what annoys me. You know, Santa's Little Helper was the same. He needed tasks, and eventually he got them. But now it's Snowball 2's turn. She needs a full set of tasks. She is always there. She's a prominent. Well, you know, she is a background character, if you want to say that. But she is always there. She's always seen. And I think she needs a full set of tasks, and she deserves them, because there's characters in that game like Fatov and all that who don't, you know, who have a full set of tasks and honestly don't deserve them as much as she deserves them. That's what kind of annoys me. You know, you have Fatov and I'm trying to think of other ones. Even the Yeti, the Snow Yeti thing. He doesn't deserve. You know, I feel like she is the character that needs full set of tasks. Out of all the non-playable characters, she definitely needs some, and that's the reason she's on the list. I don't like the fact that she's a non-playable character. So number 3, I've gone with a Starspawn. So this was this ugly little mutant alien thing, and I just hate looking at it, to be honest with you. It reminds me of that awful Halloween event again. More than the whatever the frig it was called, the Formless Terror. The Starspawn, you know, it's one of those little ugly alien things. It just does this little action when you tap it. Pretty useless, pretty pointless, and it just is a horrible reminder of that awful Halloween event. You know, and that's why I've thrown it in there. And then number 2, I've gone with the Bob clones. So the Bob clones, honestly, don't like them whatsoever. They, you know, well, they look like Bob, and you know, they were added in the takedown, and honestly, I don't know. I just don't like them. They remind me of the Twilliger update. Wasn't an awful update. I don't think it was very good, but it wasn't terrible. But you know, I just don't like these clones. They're just ugly, man. Again, it just comes down to the aesthetically pleasingness of it. The aesthetics. It comes down to the aesthetics. I don't like the look of them. And then number 1. So can we have that drum roll? number one, I've gone with the model donut. So, the model donut, and of course it ties back to this awful Halloween event. The model donut was the only character until the takedown. The takedown obviously added 4 more characters from, you know, the NPCs that just walked around. I think it was 4. Yeah, 4. But originally, in the original update before the takedown, this model donut was the only character. The only character in this event, the Halloween event. And that royally pissed me off, because honestly there's so many characters, so many, you know, they added loads of costumes, fair enough, but there's so many characters that they could have added. I could literally come back, I could go and I could find a list of, you know, just look at the new event, just look at the new Halloween event, the one we currently have. You know, Frankenstein, perfect character they could have added. There's the Blinky monster, you know, amazing, but you know, okay. There's the Death himself. That's a really, really cool one. I did say that last year that they should have added him. You know, the space marshmallow thing. You know, my point is they've added a lot. They didn't add one single character with a set of tasks in this Halloween event, and it annoyed me because of that. You know, the model donut was again just a small little gag. I'm pretty sure it was when Homer was, you know, hallucinating, and it was, you know, it was from out of nowhere, and they just picked it and thrown it and made it a character. And you know, it's cool to have it walking around. I mean, I don't think it's the worst looking character, but it's just a horrible reminder of that awful Halloween event. So anyway, guys, that is it. That's my list. Sorry if I sound a bit depressed in this video. I'm not. It's just had a rough last night. So yeah. So anyway, I think I'll see you next video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Why did I say rate? Please comment, like or dislike if you want. I don't really care. But I prefer a like, to be honest. But out of anything, please comment. I love comments more than likes. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.